So, this video has the potential to get extremely outdated extremely quickly, depending on if there is a trade that goes down between the time I am talking into this microphone and the time this video gets publicized on YouTube. I'm recording this on the night of Monday, August 5th. I had just gotten back from my trip. Thank you very much for asking how it was. It was great, and now we have to get back to our regular scheduled programming. Because whilst I was on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, we had ourselves a post made on the TSN website. This is a video clip, 15 minutes long, of Overdrive. Unfortunately, you can't actually see it. I think there is some automatic, proxy thing that Streamlabs does to prevent the shared distribution of video files on the platform. But either way, if we scroll down, we can read over here, TSN staff published this article on August 5th, 2024. The Montreal Canadiens, Minnesota Wild, and Buffalo Sabres are into Patrik Laine. Or at least, that's not what the title says. It says just a Wild could have interest in Laine. However, if you scroll down into this piece, it talks about Minnesota, and it also, in fact, somewhere in the body of this post, talks about the Montreal Canadiens and Buffalo Sabres as being two other teams rumored to be interested in acquiring Laine. This was posted all over Twitter, everybody was talking about it. Oh yeah, the Sabres, the Canadiens, the Wild, these are the three teams that are discussed about when it comes to Patrik Laine talk, and this is all from the past 24 to 48 hours or so. So this technically is an update, quote-unquote, and in order to really help us out with that, let's go out there and read what it is the article says here on tsn.ca. Links, by the way, are going to be in the description. As rumors continue to swirl on a Patrik Laine trade, the Minnesota Wild have emerged as a possible destination for the sniper, who has requested a trade from the Blue Jackets, according to The Athletic's Michael Russo and Joe Smith. It is expected that Wild GM Bill Guerin will reach out to Laine at some point to discuss his interest in playing in Minnesota. If there's a team to kick the tires, I think Minnesota makes sense, because they need that star power. NHL Network analyst Mike Rupp told The Athletic they need somebody else that can help carry the workload as far as putting up big numbers. Now, by the way, I will say this entire thing has been posted about on The Athletic, and I can't actually find the article. Is it? Okay, here. This one. Patrik Laine to the Wild may be a no-brainer, but making it work is a head-scratcher. I'll leave a link in the description of this article as well, because I think this piece being cited in the TSN piece is pretty great. It's just the TSN folks did not include a link to this Athletic post, so yeah, I think it's kind of only appropriate to cite all the sources that go out there and talk about this stuff directly. TSN, of course, is not behind a paywall. The Athletic is, so we're not going to look at this article, but we will continue to read up about this one. A lot of the quotes are shared between the two pieces anyway. They need somebody else that can help carry the workload as far as putting up big numbers. Yakio Kaprizov has his work cut out for him in that respect. The problem I have with Laine is it depends on what kind of a team you are. Everything that Minnesota has established themselves to be as far as their identity, working hard and lunch pail, Patrik Laine is not that. The thing that's kept Minnesota competitive is everybody's kind of pulling the same way, and there are no freelancers. I think he would be a freelancer. It could work, but it could be really bad too. Man, freelancer? Really? I don't know if I'd say Patrik Laine is that bad off the puck or defensively, but that certainly is a comment to make about a guy who was a point per game the past few seasons if you ignore the injury-riddled and NHL Players Assistance Program-riddled Laine from this previous season. The Wild would need to clear plenty of salary to fit the 26-year-old on the roster, as the club has $1.531 million in cap space available. Laine's contract has 2 years remaining, with an AAV of $8.7 mil. Blue Jackets GM Don Waddell has said he is not interested in retaining half of Laine's salary in order to facilitate a trade to a capped-strapped suitor. We might end up eating some money, Waddell told the Columbus Dispatch. If I wanted to eat half of his salary, I could have traded him by now. But that's not my first choice. The Athletic's Aaron Portzline believes the team is looking to make a hockey trade, quote-unquote, for Laine to maintain competitiveness on the ice, meaning the Blue Jackets may need to take money back, either in the form of retained salary or with a player with a sizable contract to make things work. Waddell has said he wants to make a hockey trade, but I think most assume he's going to be taking money back, either in the form of retained salary or an undesirable player with a hefty contract, Portland said. The question he must ask himself is how ugly, if ugly at all, this may get if Patrik Laine isn't traded and he comes to training camp. What's it worth to avoid that? I think he'd go half if the right player is coming back with the right term. The article then talks about just kind of the status. He had returned and cleared from the NHL Players Assistance Program. He played 18 games last season, getting 9 points. Selected second overall in the 2016 draft by the Winnipeg Jets, Laine has been unable to replicate the success he had early in his career since being traded to Columbus in 2020. After scoring 28 or more goals, including a career-high 44 goals in 2017-18 in each of his first 4 seasons, Laine has failed to top 26 goals with the Blue Jackets while dealing with various injuries. He had 22 goals and 52 points in 55 games played in 22-23 with the Blue Jackets, who have missed the playoffs in each of the past 4 seasons. He has totaled 204 goals and 388 points in 480, there should be a space there, TSN writing staff, career games with the Jets and Columbus. Now, Minnesota is not the only team that we're talking about here when it comes to Patty Laine, because that article that we had discussed also goes over all of the other teams here. Montreal and Buffalo, the 2 other teams rumored to be interested in acquiring Laine. There also were some other details posted in the article put out by The Athletic. Don Waddell is aware he might have to retain money to get the deal done. He could have had a deal done if he wanted to do half. Columbus is looking for a nightly player to make them more competitive. It doesn't have to be a top 6 player. Peyton Krebs, get ready to learn Ohioan. Jordan Greenway, you're our Columbus Blue Jacket. Greenway, Noah Ostlund, a second-round pick. Greenway and Krebs. Greenway is gone. Greenway, Krebs, Nadeau. A lot of Blue Jackets, not Blue Jackets, Sabres fans, excuse me. I saw the blue of the Sabre report and thought, oh yeah, blue. A lot of Sabres fans are tossing out Krebs. Montreal fans have been tossing out similar names too. Oh, it's a Jordan Harris. Oh, it's a Josh Anderson. It's a this, it's a that. There are a bunch of names that have been tossed out there as potential Patrik Laine trade fodder. And if you wanted to go by this formula, saying that Columbus is looking for extra guys to be added into their roster to make them more competitive, whether it is a top 6 forward or not, I mean, Josh Anderson in Columbus feels like that would work. He did have his best days of his career, production-wise, with CBJ in the past, right? Add on a few NHL-ready young defensemen like Jordan Harris, and I think this could actually get done. Maybe the Blue Jackets only have to retain, let's say, 1.7 mil. And Patty Laine is only making $7 million against the Canadiens cap. For a guy who was able to be a point-per-game guy the past few seasons before his stint in the NHL's Players Assistance Program, I think that number is pretty appropriate here. But of course, Kent Hughes has to go out there and evaluate all of the positives, the negatives here. These were 2 very good years. Even though Patrik Laine had a reputation mostly as a goal scorer, these 2 seasons exhibited very diversified offensive capabilities. This previous season, though, do you want to say it's Laine's fault? Is it indicative of a decline in his game? I'll let you be the judge of that in the comments section below, but for now, let me know your thoughts as to what your opinions are in regards to Patrik Laine and the Minnesota Wild being one of the frontrunners here. It is Minnesota, it is Buffalo, it is Montreal. These are the 3 teams that are tossed out there as a Patrik Laine destination on August 4th, 2024, and August 5th, excuse me, yeah, August 5th, my goodness. And I'll say this one more time, if Patrik Laine actually did get traded before this video got uploaded on YouTube, then okay, that's my bad, we'll make another video talking about the real trade. But for now, this is what we got to go off of. Links will be in the description to this TSN article, as well as the Athletic article that brings up a lot of these initial quotes. But what are your thoughts on Patrik Laine and his inevitable trade that we are going to see? Montreal, Minnesota, Buffalo, what are your opinions on all of that? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.